Hi there, Sandra here from Creating Fame. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a nice easy project for beginners for cutting machines who just want to do something that's not going to take them too long, but something that they couldn't just buy in the shops. Yeah, just something useful. So I decided to go for a cake topper. And what I'm using for this is some fairly thick card. I think this is 350 GSM. You can use whatever card you like. Now I've cut it out on my Juliet and I'm just going around the outside edges because sometimes with the cutting machine you can get kind of like a little ridge on the outside, something you don't get with the die cut, but you do with cutting machines. It's part of the process. And for things like this, if I'm bothered about it, I'll simply go around the outside edge with a bone folder to flatten things down. And that's all I'm going to do. So I have a couple of pieces of foam cut out as well. And I have a coffee stirrer. Now if you don't have coffee stirrers, you can use a wooden skewer, a cocktail stick, anything you like that is food safe. Because if you're going to stick this into a cake, it has to be food safe. You could even use a drinking straw at a push. So I've drawn around my stick. Now if I knew originally what I was going to be used to put it into the cake, I could have put that into the file itself. But not knowing what you're going to use, I didn't bother, and it's easy enough to just cut a little gap. Now the reason for the gap is because my coffee stirrer will otherwise make a lump in things, which I don't want. And I can put it in there and it'll be sandwiched in there quite nicely. Now, I've got my mini glue pen here. I say mini glue pen. It's a glue pen. And I'm just going to put some hot glue on here and try and stick my pieces together as accurately as I can. There we are, that's one side done. If you're wondering what this glue pen is like, I've not used it a great deal yet because I've not been using hot glue, but it's pretty good. It's very quick to heat up. I'm quite impressed with that. And it gets hot enough to glue what I need to glue. So it takes very tiny little glue sticks, but I'll show you that in a minute. So I've got that bit done. I just need to put some glue in here. There we go. And put my stick in there. So that's glued together. Any of these odd little strings I can pull off. So that's pretty simple. And all I'm going to do is glue that onto that. Now, I'm going to switch my glue gun off. There we go. Because the last thing you want is any kind of lumps when you look at the other side. And I feel that if I use hot glue, you may be able to see the lumps and bumps of the hot glue. So I really don't want that. So I'm just going to use a normal craft glue that I know will stick foam. Also gives you the opportunity to spend a little more time doing it because it doesn't dry so rapidly. So you've got a little bit of time wriggle room before it sets in place. There we go. Put that on there. That's looking pretty good. Now this one is where my sentiment is going to go. And this is why this is such a peculiar shape, because I've done an offset on my wording. I've cut this from a pale pink pressure sensitive vinyl, sticky back vinyl to you and me. but the technical term is pressure sensitive. And I'm going to apply that to here, but I need to get something to transfer it from there to there. This is backing from an HTV. It's being used over and over again, but I quite like to use this because it's relatively stiff. Press it down. Now you might think, why didn't I stick that on there and then do this? Well, the simple reason is this is not such a firm surface, and also if I happen to make a mess of doing it, it means I've only got to cut out this and another piece of card. Alright, I've got a pretty good offset, so the chance of me really messing this up is fairly remote, she says, hopefully. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And I can now bring that down and peel this away. And I have my vinyl design in place. Now, if I'm concerned about it staying there, put some non-stick backing paper over the top and just go over it again. I think that stuck down pretty well actually, but you know, just to make sure. So this is now going to go onto here. And for this, again, I am using my liquid glue rather than the glue gun. I've got a bit too much glue in some places, so I'm just going to take a scraper and scrape it towards the centre rather than towards edges as much as I can. There we go, that will do. And stick this on top. Now, any odd trace of glue that you can see will disappear because it dries transparent, so that's really not a problem. Just try and avoid getting any glue over the top of it. Now, the nice thing with this one is it's reusable. Saying birthday wishes means you could use it more than once because it's not got a number of birthdays on it. And you can always put a numeric candle or something on a cake. Now, speaking of candles, if you're going to put this on a cake, do remove it, or at least make sure it is not near the candles when you light them. But preferably remove it because you don't want it to go up in flames. Now, this is the plain version. Of course, you can doll this up any way you like. If you wanted to cut out little paper flowers and put them around the edges and things like that, you can. You can do all sorts of things with it, but as a fairly simple cake topper and a beginner's project, this one is a good one to do. Okay, so I got this one from Lidl online. I had it delivered because it's easier than going to the store. Well, it's probably cheaper because it costs more in fuel to get there. And it takes these tiny, tiny little glue sticks, of which you get 80 in different sorts. These are about an inch long, I guess. Having said that, they're 7mm glue sticks. You can just cut your own glue sticks down, it's not a problem. And it comes with some coloured and sparkly ones as well. It's USB charged, so you can charge it via a USB socket. And charging point just goes in there. It doesn't have any controls other than on and off. To switch it on, you press and hold the button. To switch it off, you just press it once. The glue stick goes in there and then you just push that down. And if you just want to have it just self-flowing, if you like, you just carry on as you would. And if you want more glue, you can press this down as well. It's got quite a fine tip. And the reason I wanted this is because sometimes I want to get into tighter areas where my other glue gun can't really go. I mean, I've got about 5 glue guns, I think. I'll virtually collect the things. So yeah, but it's very quick to heat up once you've actually got it fully charged. It took hours for it to charge the first time round, but now it's charged. Heating up takes a minute and a half, something like that. and that's a lot quicker than most of my other glue guns do. So yeah, I think if I remember rightly, it was about €20, and yeah, I'm happy with it so far. Okay, I will see you again soon. Take care now.